almost done, and today I'm just going to get right into this swollen eyeball from Invader Zim theory. Now, as I've mentioned in a previous video, I don't think swollen eyeball has the best intentions. Now, they may not have the worst intentions, but I think it's definitely worth taking more of a deep dive and asking ourselves why they seem so off, even compared to a lot of other things in the show. It's important to remember that they are a separate group from the Truth Shriekers, that while they have similar interests in the paranormal, they really don't like each other. They're almost like very similar tribes that don't like each other because somebody took a piece of ham away from the other tribe or something. That was a weird metaphor, but one more thing I want to speculate on is who the leader of this organization is. Now, I, like a lot of other people, automatically assumed that it was Dark Booty, if just because he's the one we see the most, and he's the only one to have direct conversation with Div, like in the flesh. But there's also a lot of people that think that this character we don't even see, we don't even hear the voice of, but we see on one of the covers of a DVD box set this guy who's sitting like this hovering wheelchair, and he's in the middle of the other members that are there that we also don't know the names of. And actually looks a lot like other evil villains and leaders that I've seen in a lot of other movies, and there's speculation that he might be the leader. Now, one idea that I have, especially with some other information that I've managed to gather from scouring the internet, is that maybe Swollen Eyeball has their intentions on taking over Membrane Labs, and thus taking over all of science with paranormal science. Now, my first bit of evidence for this is very speculative, but I think it's worth mentioning. There is a member of Swollen Eyeball who we don't see their face, but he looks very familiar. Now, I don't think he's Professor Membrane himself, but perhaps someone that works on Membrane Labs. Maybe he's a spy from Swollen Eyeball to spy and collect intel on Membrane Labs, so it'll be easier for them to hijack the place one day. Another bit of, I guess, speculation I have is about why they keep Dib on their team, despite the fact that he's a child, and the fact that he annoys them a good amount of the time. Now, there's a couple of moments where they help Dib, and where they seem kind of impressed by him. But a good amount of the time, they think he's just playing jokes on them, or that he's just not being useful. And I feel like if he's anyone else, that they would have gotten rid of him already. But maybe it's because he's related to Membrane, his son and possible clone nonetheless, that they keep him around. Because what better to not only betray Membrane by having a spy in their labs, taking over the labs, but to have his own son help them do it. Now, and this is also courtesy of Invader Vanilla on Amino, but in the episode Zim Eats Waffles, Agent Darkbooty tells Dib that basically he tied Bigfoot's hairs together, that all ended in mass destruction. Now, I know I said in a previous video that Bigfoot didn't exist, or Big Feet didn't exist in our universe. But the fact that he sounded so serious leads you to believe that maybe that actually happened. But considering the humor in Invaderism, we never know. But we can even wonder why they're so secretive and hiding their faces even from each other. And another suggestion from Invader Vanilla is that I could do more research on why Dib resorts to hobos when he needs help. Could that mean all the hobos in the show are part of the swollen eyeball? Is that what the swollen eyeball members are telling him to do? And that's not very far fetched, because Dark Booty does disguise as a janitor. And I think we see him in the comics too as a janitor. And I'm sure there's a lot more, but because the series got cancelled early, we really don't know what would have been done with them. And that's kind of sad because it's another one of those areas of the show where there's just so much untapped potential. But I guess that's all for this theory. Thank you all for listening. A Sarah.